Good evening and welcome to An Hour with Bob. We got a great show for you tonight. My good friend is back here tonight, my longtime good friend, and I'm sorry he retired. We're talking about it off camera. I was talking about it a couple times during the week with friends. People said to me, how'd you get to go here? How'd you get to go there? How come you went here? And I said it was because of my good friend, General Reggie Centracchio. So I decided to give him a call and see if I could get him on the show so we could talk about international affairs. So with me tonight, rather than talk about my normal monologue, although I should get into it, and I will get into a little bit, a little later, but I got to welcome General Reggie Centracchio. How you doing?
Good to be here again.
Nice to see you.
Always good to be with you, Bob.
Yes. Nice to see Linda over there.
Yeah, she's here. She keeps me straight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she does. She does. So how you doing?
Good. I'm not doing anything I don't want to do. I'm having a lot of fun.
I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah, I'm working for Channel 12.
Right.
You know that as
Yes.
a news analyst, and I do that once or twice a week, and having fun with it. I have a couple of big bands that I manage and play
Exactly.
with.
Exactly.
And,
Still playing? Huh?
Yeah, I am. Have my own quintet now.
Wow.
And so I manage and book the Nightlife Orchestra.
It's a big band.
It is 15 pieces.
15.
And then, of course, the Johnny Bedessa band,
Right.
which is another band that I sometimes play with, and I book him on occasion. And then, of course, the other band is a New Providence band, a New Providence big band, which is recently started. And we play at the Met in Pawtucket,
Which
down
is
the
right
road.
near my house,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, well, come. We're on there on the 23rd, which is the 3rd.
April 23rd.
Yeah, of this month. Come on down and see what we're all about.
Yeah.
And bring your camera.
No, is that at night, daytime? When
Yeah,
is it?
it's from basically 7 to 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
What night of the week is that?
Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So between that and working for Channel 12 and doing a little
So
bit
you're
of
really
this,
not
little bit of that.
retired, that's
No,
what you're
it's
trying to
only
say.
a word, really.
It's only
but I do miss the troops, and I miss the things that we used to do, and
Yeah.
going to visit troops in different places across the world, and we had some good times. And thank you once again. I know I've thanked you an awful lot of times, but let me do it again. You did an awful lot for the God, and I appreciate that. And
We had a
you
lot of
told the
fun.
story,
It was-
and
it
you
was-
continue to tell the story, and I appreciate it.
We had a
stuff.
lot of fun doing
Yeah, we
that. I
did.
was talking about just with some guardsmen the other day, and I said, wow, I really missed that. I really missed the trips we used to go on.
Yeah.
Some of the places we used to go, some of the fun trips, even losing an engine or two on the flight over to the Azores. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think we landed at 80 miles an hour. The wind was coming the other way, and the engine didn't.
We're on our way
do
over
too well.
we get diverted. We're on our way over to Tazar, Hungary, going over to Bosnia, over, and then we get diverted to the Azores, remember?
Yeah. Well, actually, that was a scheduled stop, but I don't think it was intended
Not
to be that
scheduled
quick.
like that.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
And so then we spent Christmas Eve, as you know, in Tazar. And that was a
fun.
magnificent time
That
with
was
the
fun. That was
with
one
the
of those fun
orphanages.
trips.
It was.
Yeah.
I often tell the story. You and I went to midnight mass, if
Yes.
you recall.
In Tazar, Hungary,
in
that
Tazar,
big,
and
beautiful church.
And they gave the mass in Latin.
Yep.
They gave the homily in Hungarian.
Yep.
And for the collection, perfect English.
Yeah, they knew their English.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I knew my Latin, and so did you.
Yeah.
Because I did a Catholic school for 9 years, so I knew
I didn't do Catholic. too,
Dominus,
but
Gobisco,
well, it wasn't
and all
that
that
long
stuff.
ago that they did the masses in Latin. Well, certainly within my time.
Right.
And then they started to go to the a different presentation. And today it's all English, with the exception of those churches right in Rhode Island.
Right, the
either do
Spanish.
Spanish and
Well, there were churches
Portuguese
in
and
my
stuff like
area
that.
that used to be. I grew up in St. Mary's right here in Pawtucket, and St. Mary's was English, and St. Jean the Baptist was Spanish. I'm sorry, it was French. Now it's Spanish.
Ah.
St. Jean the Baptist.
Yeah. Well, there's a church in West Warwick, which used to be basically French.
Now
There
it's
were two-
Portuguese.
Portuguese and
Right.
Spanish. And the other one was St. James, and that was basically Irish. And they tore that one down. They merged the two parishes, but they have dissipated now. So the Hispanic population is really taking hold there. And it's reflective of our society, obviously,
Right,
which is
right.
good.
It changes, it
Yeah,
changes,
it does.
evolves, right?
But you're still doing your thing, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, hey, what's happening with North Korea? That's what
Well,
made
I'll
me
tell
think of
you.
you. I said I gotta have the general on to talk to me about with North Korea? What is this guy doing? What does he think he's
I
doing?
think we need to really understand, from my perspective, what he's doing. He's trying to set a place of credibility within the entire world scenario, if you will, but more importantly, within his own country. You know, he's a very young dictator.
Yeah, he's less than 30 years old. They're not
Right.
sure of his age, I guess, but
well,
they're
I
saying
don't think-
27,
yeah.
29.
Well,
in
he
that
certainly
range,
is
right?
not old enough to be, you know. I
Yeah,
think,
running the country.
Yeah, right. And in reality, I think, in my opinion, I don't think he really is. I think
Right,
he's a
right.
figurehead.
Right.
The military is in charge, as well as several of his relatives are really calling the shots. On the other hand, you don't really know, and you can't trust his ability, perhaps, to do something that would be long-lasting. You know, if you look at what he's doing right now, it's a lot of rhetoric, but we
Right.
need to understand why that rhetoric is being portrayed as it is. There are many sanctions against North Korea for its nuclear program
Right.
and its missile program, and it's really hurting.
It's causing terrible hardships in that country.
I was there. I wasn't in North Korea. I was in Korea on 9/11 of '01 with 42 veterans. And so I saw the differences between South Korea and North Korea. If you look at night, if you look into North Korea, and I was on the
dark,
DMZ,
right?
it's just dark.
Yeah.
A few lights here and there, but you
Right.
turn around, you see a megapolis.
Right.
You know, a phenomenal city in Seoul.
Sure.
On the other hand, if you look, try to understand why we have the sanctions and why we're reluctant to give them more food stuff and those kinds of things, because it never gets to the average North Korean.
Right.
It goes to the military, it goes to those who are
The
in
privileged.
power and the
priv-
privileged on his side or backing him. So
Right.
consequently, you know, what he's doing now is trying to get more goodies in order to demonstrate that he can in fact negotiate with the rest of the world. And he's trying to put himself in a position of leadership and demonstrate that he is the leader of North Korea. Unfortunately, he's taking the tact that would suggest that he is intending on using a nuclear weapon against the United States.
Pretty dangerous what he's doing.
It is.
It's quite
But at the same
dangerous what he's
time,
doing.
you know, we said for years, well, we're not sure he has a nuclear capability. Well, now he does.
Right.
And then we said, well, we're not sure he has a missile
That can
that
deliver.
can actually deliver it. Now he does.
Right.
And we're saying, well, maybe he can't reach the United States. And we're giving him more time to develop those missiles.
Right.
And I think, in my opinion, once again, the only way to deal with this, I think, is to use a very simple preemptive plan. And you tell them, if you launch a missile, we're going to shoot it down. What don't you understand about that? If you open that factory to produce more plutonium, enriched uranium, we're going to destroy it. What don't you understand about that? And do it. You can't just say it, you've got to demonstrate. Now, the Israelis had the same plan, and they've
And-
demonstrated that
Right. With
many
Iran.
times with Iran.
Yes. Yeah.
If you do this, we're going to do this, and they do it.
Right.
And people say, well, you know, you could start the Third World War and so forth. My philosophy on it is you don't want to do that, but at the same time, you can't continue to give them more time
Right.
to develop more strategic capability to bring those missiles here in the United States, or perhaps to deliver it in another means, maybe in a suitcase or a container. You know, those containers that you see coming across the
container
ocean.
ships.
You know, very, very simple and easy to be able to put a nuclear device in one of those things. The problem here is we have never learned from our mistakes in Iraq. We gave Iraq 13 years to divest itself of the weapons of mass destruction. I'm convinced that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq at the time.
Right.
Our intelligence suggested that, and he used those weapons on his own people, the Kurds, you know, way back. But we get say, well, we're not going to let the United Nations in here, go home. We're not going to let you in. 13 years we went through that scenario. Now, if we do the same thing with North Korea, we'll look back and say one day, why do we allow that? Now they have a full strategic capability to hit anywhere in the United States with a myriad of nuclear weapons that we gave them time to deliver and to develop. Unfortunately, much of what we're talking about is not pertinent only to North Korea. Much of their technology is being shared as we speak with Iran.
Right.
And I'm concerned with that, as we all should be.
Right.
You know, what they develop and test in North
They're
Korea
shipping it
is
over to-
eventually going to end up in Iran.
Right.
And once Iran gets a nuclear capability, you know, anybody knows what's going to happen with that, because they've made so many statements suggesting that Israel will be wiped off the face of the map, the face of the earth, and I believe that if they had the ability to do it, they would.
They would do it.
So if we give them time to develop it, then we have no one to blame except ourselves.
Wow. Hey, I have a clip. Don't I have a clip? Do we have a clip? I think we have a clip with this this new, what'd you call him, a new...
Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong, what is his name?
Kim Jong-un.
Un is his last name.
He's a nut.
Kim Jong Nut.
Let's put that on one simple thing, a nut.
You got it? All right, let's watch that clip.
Indicating actual war preparations in the north, but they aren't ruling out the possibility of a missile launch. This as more South Korean workers are leaving a factory park just over the border that's the last connection between North-South cooperation. Tensions remain high. Margaret Brennan is in Seoul.
Good morning. U.S. intelligence has confirmed that North Korea has moved missile parts to 2 locations in preparation for a possible launch within the next few days. That could complicate Secretary of State John Kerry's upcoming visit here and Washington's attempts to de-escalate tension. The drumbeat of North Korea's threats continued. Pyongyang warned embassies to consider evacuating staff, saying it can no longer protect foreign diplomats, raising speculation that a missile launch is imminent. The birthday of North Korea's founding father is April 15th, and his grandson, President Kim Jong-un, may mark it with a demonstration of military might. Pyongyang closed its border with South Korea to people and goods 3 days ago when it blocked access to the Kaesong industrial complex. North Korean soldiers were standing in full combat gear at the guard post near the border, this worker said. I don't think the number of soldiers increased. They've covered the guard post with camouflage. That factory was the last line of communication between North and South Korea. Now workers wonder whether they'll be able to return or keep their jobs. The factory cafeteria is not providing meals because there's no food left. We've been sharing food that we kept personally. We can probably hold out for 2 to 3 days, he said, but no more than that. A small number of South Korean policymakers have called for their government to negotiate with Pyongyang, but so far diplomacy remains stalled. Both Washington and Seoul demand that North Korea abandon its nuclear program before talks begin. In the meantime, Japan and the United States are reportedly considering deploying an unmanned drone to enhance surveillance over North Korea. The world is watching to see just how far this brinksmanship will go. For CBS This Morning Saturday, Margaret Brennan, Seoul.
Let's get more on North Korea now from a man who spent years dealing with its repeated threats.
Yeah. How'd you like that, huh? We'll get a little bit of North Korea, huh? That was a whole, I love the story of this guy has no clue what's going on in the world. It's like he's isolated. They don't know what's happening. The thing I fear most, General, is that because he doesn't know what's going on in the world, maybe actually thinks that he can rule the world by, he's got rockets that are more powerful, and he's got things that are, weapons that are more powerful than the weapons that the West has.
The only salvation here is I really don't believe that he has the ability
to push the
launch
button.
those weapons. No, there's a military that is, I think, more realistic and understands that they can't possibly win any kind of an exchange, either conventional or certainly a nuclear, against the United States or any of our allies. And we haven't talked about where China and Russia.
Right, because
fit
in the
into this.
past,
Yeah.
without China, they could never even have
Absolutely.
succeeded
We-
in
We
winning.
wouldn't have the 38th parallel
Right,
without
right,
China.
right.
So I'm convinced too that, in as much as we probably don't see it, there's an awful lot of dialogue taking place between China and North Korea, as well as Russia. They understand, because there's a geographical border, any missiles coming into North Korea don't pay attention to that particular border.
Right.
You're going to have collateral considerations in those adjacent countries. China knows that, and it would be not in their best interest to have any kind of an exchange right in their backyard, and I do believe that.
Right.
And
Because the nuclear fallout, and depending on the way the wind blows too, it's
could
going
blow
to.
in their own face.
Right.
But at the same time, I think China understands that their dependence on their economy is completely dependent
On
on
us. Yes.
If we didn't have the outlet for their market, they would be in tough shape. So they understand that. And as much as we owe them a lot of money,
Yeah.
there's a balance, I think.
It's
at
probably
at
good we
this
owe them a
point.
lot of money,
Right. Because otherwise, they'd be selling their stuff to somebody else.
All right, we're going to have a song from. Look who's here tonight, huh? She's late.
She's late.
You know where they got that name from?
The singer was always late to go on a gig. I guess.
Yeah, the girl singer they had, she was always late. And you got these three guys. Who's talking here for me tonight? Ron? Who's talking?
Hello, I'm Ron.
Hi, Ron.
Hi.
Who was her? Who was she?
Well, Amy is she. And,
Amy.
Originally, she was the last.
You're outing her, right? You're outing Amy.
She's here.
Oh, she is
I
here.
mean, in the band still, but not here today.
Oh, she is.
She's late.
She's late.
We're throwing her under the bus.
You are.
But she was the last person to join the original lineup of the band.
Right.
And so we just kind of jokingly said she's late to join the band, and we just kind of renamed the band She's Late.
All right.
Kind of stuck. People thought it was catchy.
I like it. Now, what kind of stuff do you do? Because you've been here before, and I like your stuff, so that's why you're back again now. Give us an idea what kind of stuff we do.
Okay. It's called Tennessee. Well, the battle had been fought, no one had won. I stood my ground and I had my fun, I had my fun. So I packed my bags, I headed to the north. The cities have the jobs and I'll stay right on course, right on course. I'll settle down in some New England town, and I raise my family and plant my roots into the ground. And I'll travel to the city to do my job. The work is good and hard, but I feel like a slob, like a slob. Tennessee, my Tennessee, I miss that land that belongs to me. Tennessee, my Tennessee, I'm coming back, just wait and see. Tennessee, my Tennessee, I miss that land that belongs to me. Tennessee, my Tennessee, I'm coming back, just wait and see. I miss the girls with ribbons in their hair, and I miss the fairs with the bluegrass music in the air. But I got too many bills and I need to earn their wage. I feel like a bird just trapped in a cage, in a cage. Tennessee, my Tennessee, I miss that land that belongs to me. Tennessee, my Tennessee, I'm coming back, just wait and see. Tennessee, my Tennessee, I miss that land that belongs to me. Tennessee, my Tennessee, I'm coming back, just wait and see.
Jeez, she's late. Nice job. Adam, and Ron, huh?
That's it.
That's right.
And what's her name?
Adam.
No, what's her name?
Amy.
Amy.
Oh, her name.
Oh, wow.
We should rename her Eve, though.
Triple A and Ron. Huh? And the general. We got the generals in the house. General, what do you think, huh?
Generally speaking, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Generally speaking. How do you like that one, huh?
And we thank you for your services to this country.
That's right.
Thank
How
you.
many? How long were you in the service?
48 years.
Huh?
48 years.
48 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Joined in 57 and I got out in 2005.
Holy good God. I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah. My entire adult life so far has been
Wow,
spent.
that's amazing.
I went in, I was still a junior in high school when I joined. And when I graduated high school, I went on active duty and stayed on ever since.
Wow.
Good,
Gosh.
good tour.
As long as I've known you, I didn't realize it was that long. My God.
You know, I was at a function at the Guard headquarters last week with a promotion for one of our command sergeants major. And so someone asked the question of the sergeant major, said, how many of you out there, when I first joined, not me, but the sergeant major, you weren't even born? About 5 people raised their hand. I get up, I said, look, nobody in this room was born when I joined. That was scary. About 150 people there. So put you in the right perspective, you know.
Well, then you must remember. You've got to remember. I went to school with Holland, Glenn Holland,
Glenn Holland, yeah.
Major General Holland. He was the commandant, right?
Well, his son's Glenn.
Right.
But his name was Leonard.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And so, in fact, I was in the Guard before Leonard Holland was. I joined in 57. He didn't come in until 61 because he came in on a lateral from the Army Reserve.
Right.
Kennedy, in fact, had some play with getting him in. Nevertheless, he became the adjutant general, and so we were good friends all the way up. He promoted me from lieutenant all the way up to full colonel, and when I was looking into becoming the adjutant general, he endorsed it and gave me a pretty good recommendation with Governor Alman at the time.
Yep.
So and then he was coming to our wedding, Linda and my wedding in '96. And unfortunately, that was when he fell off the plane coming down the stairs.
Yeah, what was that all about?
He was carrying several bags down this little rampway and lost his balance. And he fell off the ramp and fell on his head. And he had a pretty significant concussion, never recovered from that. And so he died several years later.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
We went down to Atlanta to see him. And I don't know if you remember General Anicelli. Nick Anicelli, once again, a good friend of mine,
Right.
but he passed away a couple of years ago. And we walked into the nursing home that General Holland was in. He didn't know what was going on at that time, and he was just kind of in a dormant stage. And so Nick Anicelli says, "Channel 10 is here." Where's Channel 10? Got him right out of it. But had he seen Channel 12, he'd have been right out of that chair.
Really?
Yeah,
He would have hopped right up
right
the
out
chair,
of
huh?
that
Yeah? We should mention again that the general does actively work for Channel 12.
And I had a lot of fun doing it. You had
Yeah.
Jennifer Mobilia on a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
and,
isn't she a peach?
Good kid. And she's really one of those genuine people that she's here certainly looking to establish herself in somewhat of an alien environment,
Right.
in the sense of she doesn't really know a lot of people, but she's the kind of person that you really want to put your arms out and help her the best you can. She's a good kid. So, and she did a great job on your show. And
Yeah.
you're still good. You do an outstanding job with the show, and I'm always watching you all
Hey.
the time. Do.
No, we
Good
have
stuff.
fun. We have fun. I have to, because to think about it, people say to me, they actually think I get paid to do this. I'm the only TV show, I've been on 22 years and I've never gotten a pay. Can you imagine?
Well, you know, that's why, I think, that's why it comes across like you're so genuine. And people can see that because you love it and you're doing it because you want to do it. And it's not because you're doing it because you're getting something for it other than the self-satisfaction of doing what you do. And so it's obvious. And you
Well, it's
can
not
see
only me that don't get paid. They don't get paid. None of my crew gets paid. They all do it for nothing.
Band, you know,
And the
band,
band.
yeah.
The band's here for
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
Yeah. We all do it because we have fun. We enjoy doing it.
You know, if you look at a band, any one of the band members, you know, the philosophy is that a good musician pays $5,000 for a cello, travels 50 miles to play a gig, and gets $5 for pay. That's a real
Well, look at
musician.
me. Look at me. How many thousands of dollars have I paid? Corey, how many thousands have you paid for camera equipment and stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
Thousands and thousands of dollars I've spent on camera equipment, editing equipment and stuff.
Yeah. But
for
it's
nothing.
because, you know, but you don't get you don't have a lot of vices. I don't know
That's
if you
right.
have any.
No,
but,
no, I don't. Well, I don't
but, you know,
drink. I
yeah.
don't smoke.
And obviously, you spend your time and your money where you think you're doing the best for the society, and it comes across that way.
Well, it's like you said. It's what we enjoy doing.
Yeah.
We have fun doing it. We have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jennifer liked. She told me she liked buffalo chicken. She wanted a buffalo chicken sub sandwich, and I found a place that right in her hometown that makes a good buffalo chicken sandwich, and I emailed her
Oh, good.
the
Yeah.
address for her so she can
I'll
get it.
see her Wednesday. I do my Wednesday gig.
Yeah.
So can I put in the plug?
Of course,
Okay,
of course
good.
you can.
Then you need to watch Channel 12. Every Wednesday at 5:30, I do a 2-minute gig.
Yeah.
As part of the 5:30 news with Mike Montecalvo.
Yeah.
And seemingly 2 minutes is not a long time, but on TV, it's a long time.
Yeah.
And then this week, we're also going to start doing a web portion too. So you'll be able to go to WPRI.com
Right.
and watch an extended
Version,
yeah,
whatever that you don't get on in the
right,
2
right.
minutes.
Yeah, but 2 minutes would seemingly be, I don't know, 2 minutes. 2 minutes on TV is
It can be a long time. It can be forever on
Yeah.
TV if you don't
Yeah.
get over on the right.
That's right.
I mean, although we do an hour here without a commercial break.
It's even better.
We do an hour. Well, without any breaks, without a teleprompter, too. You see a teleprompter here?
No, but I've seen Corey in many, many places.
You think? Trying to get a teleprompter. You think I'll use it?
Are you planning on having Obama here?
Yeah, that's right. Well, we only need one if we got Obama here. Teleprompter, right?
I'm supposed to get political.
Oh, yeah, you get political on me. Well, I'll do it. By the way, in 2 weeks, I'm going to get political here. Once in a while, I do get political. I'm going to talk about a political thing. I have it right here. Our next show in 2 weeks, we will get serious, and we will talk about how can a judge, this bothers me, this troubles me, how can a judge say it is okay for a child to be able to get the morning after pill when it hasn't even been discussed by any legislature in the country? In other words, we have, 435 members of the United States legislature. You have 75 members of the legislature in the state of Rhode Island and 38 members of the House, and they haven't discussed it. Yet one judge, and I forget where it is, has decided that a kid, and it doesn't even say an age, a little girl, 9 or 10-year-old kid could conceivably get a morning after pill if she thought she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And she could get killed from it.
Sure. You know, let me take it one step further. You and I ran for the same office at one time.
Right.
And the one thing that I've always subscribed to is that the human life.
I didn't realize. I know we did, but I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
We both ran for lieutenant governor, by the
Yeah,
way.
right. And
Different times.
yeah, right. Of course.
We never run against each other.
But I think if you look at reality, you know, conception is a very instant time frame, and up until 9 months, you can abort that. But 1 second after you're born, if you do something to destroy that life,
It's murder.
You're a murderer. I cannot get my arms around that. I don't understand. And the same thing is applicable here. If you're going to destroy something, the morning after is similar, as I understand it.
Right.
It destroys the whole process of becoming conception to begin with. Now, having said that, the judge, I think, is way out of line.
Well, that's what I have trouble with. I have trouble with the
That's
fact
way
that
out of
a
line.
judge is making that decision. Not that I am for or against it. I'm against the fact that a judge is superseding the power of our entire legislative process.
Well, the point I'm making is
One
that he's
person.
a judge making one individual decision which is, in my opinion, taking human life.
Right, right.
Who gave them that authority? Certainly not our Constitution, and certainly not the values that we like to think we still subscribe to.
Right.
And when you look at it from that point of view, this country is in tough shape. And
Well,
we
maybe
only
I'll have to have you back for that part of it, because I was only striving to point out the fact that this judge has decided to have that authority to supersede the authority of our entire legislative process. Not the fact that it's is it this or is it that, but he's saying that I don't give a care what the legislature says. I'm doing this and I'm doing that.
Yeah.
You know. And the other thing that I wanted to discuss that somebody brought up to me is what's happening with this. And again, I'm not saying I'm for or against it, because I want to have an honest discussion. We'll discuss the effects, if any, of legalizing marijuana, the effects in the society of legalizing marijuana.
You know, I think that's an open-ended question. When you look
Well,
at
that's why it's
marijuana,
gonna be fun.
Yeah, it is. You look at marijuana.
Could have put that airbag on.
You know, marijuana is a stepping stone
Yep.
to a higher drug, because eventually, I've never done marijuana. I don't think I ever.
You never
wanted-
inhaled?
No. I've never even. I know it smells like oregano, probably.
Does it?
Yeah, I was told that. But anyway, it's a lead-in drug. But at the same time, the argument can be made on the other side. You know, I consume a martini every so often, but I don't go for the hard stuff because I'm not satisfied with one martini. So it's a matter of control.
Right.
But in the case of drugs, it goes into your system, as I understand it. Our society hasn't accepted that as a legal matter, and for one individual to make a decision that it's going to be legal in a state, as this judge perhaps would go that far too, it's just alien the way this whole thing works. And when you talk about the separation, I know when you ran for office, you were heavy on the separation of powers.
That's right,
Between
yeah.
the judicial, the executive, and the legislative. Well, that doesn't mean to say that everybody can unilaterally make decisions on behalf of the entire
Right.
society without impacting the other two branches.
That's why all the branches have to have a say. That's my whole point.
Right, exactly. And that didn't take place here. And
That's exactly
what-
my point.
And that's exactly what the problem is.
Yeah.
They've gone off on a tangent somewhere.
Especially a judge in many cases, in many states, judges are appointed. So somebody could appoint the guy just because he gave a lot of money to a political campaign. And
Well, they're appointed here too.
Right.
But some judges are elected
right.
with terms. I'm not sure which is the lesser of two evils. I'm not sure. But in the case of, in this particular state, they're appointed for life. And that gives them perhaps an interpretation that they're above anybody criticizing or questioning
Right.
whatever decision they make, which is wrong. Clearly the point you're making.
Yeah,
I believe.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, how long do we have with the missile testing? A couple quick questions before I let you go.
Well, you know,
Get back to the
once
heavy
again,
stuff there.
there's a launch schedule for this Wednesday.
And that's because of
Well,
whose birthday? I know it's something to do with somebody's birthday.
his birthday.
His birthday.
Yeah.
His being the
The
president.
15th,
of,
the 15th of April is his birthday, as I understand it. So they want to do something spectacular.
What, they let off some fireworks?
The best they do is strap him to the missile. That would really be spectacular. But they're allegedly going to launch this missile maybe into the ocean. My point is, if you allow them to continually develop capability for the missile, we already said they don't have the capability to put a nuclear device on a long-range missile.
Right.
They didn't have the capability for a short-range missile 3 years ago, but now they do.
Right.
If we continue to allow them to test their missiles, then we're asking for a huge crisis one
Right.
of these days. And at the same time, we're allowing them to reopen factories and plants to enrich uranium and plutonium, giving them a bigger yield with a smaller warhead, which will fit on a long-range missile. And then you have the same thing that we've been dealing with many of our other strategies. That is that, you know, more than one missile could in fact be targeted for the same target.
Right.
So you have
Can't
not
stop
one
them
missile,
all.
you could take that one. But if you have a volley of missiles,
That's right. That's right.
that
That's
would
the
be.
fear. That's
If
the
we
fear.
allow them to develop that capability, then we're further in trouble.
Right.
No. So I think we're at that point where we need to have it on the table.
Crap or get off the pot,
No,
I think, right?
preemptive. You tell them front end. You launch the missile, we're going to shoot it down. You open that factory to develop plutonium, we're going to destroy it. And if we don't follow that philosophy, one day, unfortunately, we'll have to face it with them having nuclear capability,
Right.
and then that's a different story altogether.
Right. Then it's total annihilation of the world.
Well, certainly them.
Yeah. General
Always
Centracchio.
good to be here.
Nice to see you.
Good to be here.
Hey, give us a song. Get us out of here. She's late. She's late again.
Well, my father was a hard-working farmer. He planted seeds to feed. For the 5 kids he had and his wife, she was glad that she did marry. Well, times were hard on that little dairy farm, but there was a certain kind of charm. Well, the hard work and sweat we never did regret, and the Lord never promised no harm. Oh, say what you say, what you say, what you say. Those words of wisdom that God has given makes me the man I am today. Oh, down in the pasture, couldn't work no faster, and building machine kept it coming. So he had to move away every single bale of hay, 'cause he knew that winter was a-coming. Oh, say what you say, what you say, what you say. Those words of wisdom that God has given makes me the man I am today. Well, there was a stream, the water was so clean, the fishing there was so fine. And early in the morning up there became warden, but he just helped feed our lives. Oh, say what you say, what you say, what you say. Those words of wisdom that God has given makes me the man I am today. Well, now I'm a father of a son and a daughter, whose two mean so much to me. So I give them what they want and everything they need, as long as they ask with a please. Oh, say what you say, what you say, what you say. Those words of wisdom that God has given makes me the man I am today. Yeah. Well, my father was a hard-working farmer who planted seeds to feed. For the 5 kids he had and his wife, she was glad that she did marry.
Oh, nice job. She's late again. She's late. Well, she's not late. We got Lesley. McLaughlin. McLaughlin.
That's right.
I can say it McLaughlin or McLaughlin, but
Yes, you
McLaughlin.
can. That's
It's
right.
McLaughlin. Because being from Rhode Island, predominant ancestry in Rhode Island is either Italian, or it used to be anyway, Italian or Irish. Do you know that? The top two, and I'm both. So that covers them both. How you doing?
We're very well.
Now,
Very well.
you're with the Blackstone Valley
Tourism
Council with my good buddy,
Robert
Robert
Billington,
Billington.
now he's late.
He's late. Yeah,
He's
yeah,
late.
where is he? Yeah, he's late. Not she's late. He's late.
Yeah.
There's no place like home. What's that all about?
Well, it used to be about a program that we did for the past 9 years called Tour Rhode Island, There's No Place Like Home. The idea was get people out to see what's in their own backyards.
Right.
We do this on the first week of May, which is National Travel and Tourism Week. Now, you're a traveler.
Yes.
We celebrate travel.
There you go.
And right here in Rhode Island, we have some amazing things to see and do.
I've been on every route in the state of Rhode Island at least once. Every single route.
I've seen some of your videos driving the streets of the back roadways of Rhode Island.
Yeah? Well, actually, most of my roadways are all around the world, but some of them I have done.
I always
many of the
wondered,
roadways.
who is he talking to?
But I used to take my kids when they were smaller. I used to take one area of the state. We talked about this on the last show, as a matter of fact, and pick up an area of the state and ride all the major roads in that area. And it's amazing, the beautiful scenery in this state.
Yep. And that's one of the things that we would like Rhode Islanders to do. Now, 10 years ago, Bob Billington got together with, at the time, Governor and Mrs. Kachiri, and somehow this idea blossomed that we were going to do tours for the people of Rhode Island all over the state of Rhode Island.
Right.
And for 9 years, that program was a terrific success just in the state of Rhode Island. Well, last year we've had repeat customers. Oh, I've done that tour, I've done that tour. We have 24 tours, and they say, I've done all of those tours.
So now,
you
took it out of the state. You did it. You took it out of the state. Which begs the question.
On our 10th anniversary for this event, for National Travel and Tourism Week, we have rechristened the event.
Right.
And we are calling it Southern New England Discovery Tours.
Okay.
And we're crossing over the borders a little bit. We're working with chambers of commerce and other convention and visitor bureaus and tourism councils in nearby Connecticut and Massachusetts.
Oh, well, that's good.
So people will have a chance to see the northern part of the Blackstone Valley, which is in Massachusetts, starts in Worcester. We've got 3 tours that are going to cover that area, each one very different from the other. One of them has been in the news, a place that we'll be visiting, the Higgins Museum of Armory, where they have the knights in armor and jousting and so forth.
Yes.
They're closing their doors. They're located just outside the city proper of Worcester.
Worcester,
They're closing their doors. The collections are being moved to the Worcester Museum, but that whole wonderful castle-like building is no longer going to be used.
That's
one
a
of our
shame.
tours is actually going to be going and visiting the Higgins Museum. And if you have not been there, the Higgins Museum is definitely a place to, you can go there with your kids. They have great programs, but the collection is fabulous. I believe they're open until the fall. So throughout the summer, there'll be an opportunity.
And then it's going to end, is that what you're saying?
And then they're going to move the collection, but I don't know what the setup is going to be once they get it into the museum.
How much space it's going to have either.
It's a very interactive place. It's a shame that it's closing.
That's
Exciting
too bad.
stuff. Not just the knights of English fame and so forth, but they had Asian. They had scimitars and all kinds of wonderful armory from ancient times. So it's an internationally renowned collection. Well, that's the Higgins Museum. We're also doing in Massachusetts the revitalized Canal District of downtown Worcester.
Oh, yeah.
And that's quite a nice spot these days. It's got quite a few new restaurants and so forth.
Yep.
One of the tours will be doing that, plus an interior tour by the mayor
of the city of Worcester.
The mayor of the city of Worcester. Is that part of this tour?
That
right here?
is, that is.
We got a shot of that, don't we, Corey? I guess we got a shot of that, don't we? May's got that shot.
He's going to give us an interior tour of Union Station, which has also been revitalized. From the interior of Union Station.
Look at that, look at that.
In the past
you got
few
that.
years
You
has
got
been.
that. Let me see that. Yeah,
There we
got
go.
that.
There we
How's
go.
that, huh?
Southern New England Discovery.
Don't
Tours.
move it.
Now, so while we're talking about Massachusetts, we've got a National Parks Ranger who's going to bring us into a half a dozen or more National Historic Registered properties that are in the Blackstone Valley.
Can I guess one?
Go ahead. I may or may
Purgatory
not know it.
Chasm.
No. One of the actually, we're not stopping at Purgatory
You're not.
Chasm.
You're not. Where you going?
We're going to be going into several of the homes. We've got a Quaker Meeting House in
Oh, you're going to home.
Uxbridge,
Oh, I got you. Okay.
homes and other dwellings
I
and
know where
buildings
that
and
is.
cemeteries.
I know where that is.
Sure you do.
In
So that'll be
Uxbridge?
up in
Yes.
that area, in Douglas and so forth. We've got a tour going into what's called the Quiet Corner. That's that, where the three states come together: Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island.
Right.
Did
Near
you
Douglas,
know?
yes.
You would know this, I'll bet.
Webster, Douglas.
That there is a huge expanse of an area that pilots can actually at night navigate their way into, like the Boston area, because there are no lights there in the Quiet Corner, and this is true. Now you've done a lot of flying. You do a lot of travel.
Right.
So were you
They've
aware of
turned
that?
yes, they've turned the Worcester. They're turning the Worcester Airport into a major airport
That's
now.
right. So maybe it won't be such a quiet corner
No,
in
it's
a
not
while.
going to be. As a matter of fact.
In any case, we're doing a ghost tour up there.
Oh.
And that's going to be going to the very first cemetery that was established right in where Burrillville comes together, right near Douglas.
Yes.
And it's going to do that region in there. We've got a paranormal expert and his wife who are going to be conducting the tour. They've done tours for us in the past.
Right.
They've been complete sellouts, and they're just wonderful. People come back really quite impressed with it. Now, they both have written books and done television programs, things that go bump in the night.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever seen
Yeah.
seen that on PBS? They're featured in that program. So that's called the Curiosities in the Quiet Corner. That's the name of that tour. We have another tour in Connecticut that is also doing historic locations. And they're doing a kind of a trivia. It's called a Revolutionary History Hunt. They're hitting the Revolutionary period
and some great
sites.
revolutionary tours around there, all around this area, all Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island.
Well, this year, I think Connecticut is taking as its theme something to do with the revolution.
Right.
Connecticut is revolutionary. So playing off that, they have places along the way where if you find the place first with the group, or if you maybe answer the right trivia question or whatever, having to do with the revolution,
Right.
then you win a little prize. So it's a revolutionary history hunt, and that one's entirely in Connecticut, whereas the ghost one takes in the three states in that
Right.
corner. Of course,
I was up that area the other day. That's where the Indian Ranch is. There, where they have the concerts up there. I saw Brett Michaels and the kid from Rhode Island opened up for Brett Michaels there last fall. It's a big place. It's a big venue for country western artists. It's a well-known.
oh, maybe we can get the band.
Daniels and all the big
Maybe the
western
band's
music.
played there.
You been there?
We played
You played there.
Play there?
How do you like that, huh? Was that the name of Indian Ranch? Indian Ranch, right? Big venue.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a beautiful.
Very impressive venue.
Right on the lake.
Right on the lake,
I
exactly.
wouldn't bother saying the name of the lake, though.
No,
Webster Lake, we'll call it.
no, it's one of those names like that.
Yeah.
a big
Chagagog,
in-
man, Chagabog, Chabatamungagog.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Now, why would people want to go on a bus tour rather than drive?
Well, bus tour's a lot of fun. You got a lot of people together. You kind of whoop it up, and it's camaraderie.
Right. You're all drinking, hanging out the window, and
well,
everything,
not-
right?
not quite.
Mooning the drivers and stuff like that, right?
You learn so much more.
No, I know. I'm only kidding, folks. You go ahead. You learn so much more.
You learn so much more. You have a good time. You can bring as many of your friends as you want. You're not limited to, the 4, 6, 8 seats that you've got in your car.
And how come the tourism bureau, like you get a discount? You offer a discount?
We're kind of partnering up with a lot of these places. It's to their benefit. It's to our benefit.
And
If
it's
we-
to the people's benefit because they get a discount.
Yes. Now, it's also more like a survey tour. All right, everybody gets on a motor coach. You've got another, 45 other people on board with you. And you say, what am I doing with 45 other people on this bus? It's going to take me forever to get on and off the bus. The rest of it more than makes up for it. You're going to be taken to these places, not having to worry about driving, not having to worry about where you're going.
Right.
We get a very deep discount for bringing the group there, and we reflect that in the price that they pay for the tour, which I won't talk about. They can go online to do that. That's toursouthernewengland.com, toursne.com.
Toursne.com.
Toursne.com, okay. And they can find out all
They
the
can find out
details
some of
on,
the new
on
tours
all of
and
the other
all
tours.
the different kinds of tours,
We
right?
have 14 tours going out.
Wow.
So but it's not 14 motor coaches. It's going to be 12 motor coaches, kayaks, and bicycles. So we're doing a bike path tour.
Wow.
And the kayaking tour is on the Blackstone River, but it's suitable for a beginner. They're going to have some very simple stuff for you to do. Or you can also, if you happen to be more proficient,
Right.
then there'll be enough challenge for you.
Can
It'll
I
be
put
a narrated
motor on
tour.
my kayak?
If you can get away with it without sinking, absolutely. So,
All right, what will they be doing for lunch down there?
for lunch, we have, every so often, my boss, Bob, will go out and do us the big favor of coming back with a tray of food for us. And one day, we all raved over the sandwiches that he brought back. Where'd you get them?
He didn't make them.
Can I say where he got them?
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay. The place that he went for that dinner, I've forgotten the name of it already. Jersey Mike's.
Jersey. Mike.
Douglas.
Oh yeah, I know
Douglas
where it is. Sure.
and Mineral Spring.
I know where it is.
Right
I
in
know
North
exactly
Providence.
where it is. Yes, it's right across from Lowell's.
Everybody just raved about
Yeah.
it. So we put out for bid. We have to do that. Who's going to do the lunches for us? And what we do is, for the past 10 years, we've been doing a boxed lunch for virtually all of the tours. So there are a couple of exceptions, one of them being the Independence Trail Tour, which is Robert Burke's Downtown Providence Trail Tour. We're going to do the interior of the State House, and they're going to have lunch at his Pot of Fur, the restaurant downtown Providence.
Oh,
called
Bob Burke's.
Pot of
yeah.
Fur, Bob Burke.
Oh, you call him Robert Burks. I call him Bob
Robert,
Burks.
Robert,
Yeah.
Robert.
Us
Too many Bobs.
Us Bobs. Too many Bobs. Yeah, Bob Burke, Bob Billington, Bob Venturini, all kinds of Burks.
So it's a box picnic lunch that we take right with us on the bus.
Yep.
We have spots along the way and alternatives if the weather isn't too conducive
Right.
to being outside for a picnic
Oh, sounds
type
like
lunch.
fun.
It is fun.
Sounds like fun.
Every year it's
and
a
it's
lot
usually
of
an
fun.
all-day tour, right? I mean, you leave in the morning and you come back late in
well,
the
I'll
day.
tell you something. In past years, we have all met someplace in Warwick. It's been CCRI.
My next question, you're ahead of me. You're jumping ahead of me. Now, why?
I wanna hear your question.
Why? You used to meet in Warwick. This year, you're meeting in Lincoln at Twin River
That's
parking
right.
lot. Why?
That's right. We're meeting in Twin River
Because
in Lincoln because
it's closer to the
we've
on
got
the way
the
up there.
3 different states that we're trying to cover.
Right,
For
and if
one
you're already
thing.
starting up that
Yeah.
much closer.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And CCRI, which was the parking lot that we used originally, and then we used Warwick Mall for a while. Things have changed, and it just wasn't possible for us to be doing it any longer.
So what, Lincoln, they're letting you use Lincoln Park?
Twin River, if I may add, is going to give us a little something, like a coupon or whatever, to invite
to
anybody
yeah,
in, to kind of
you in,
entice.
throw some money in.
I'm sure it'll be
and-
nothing big, but they've been happy to offer their
Yeah.
parking lot
Sure.
for us.
Well,
We'll
that
all be
makes
in
sense.
one area. You'll see all the buses lined up.
That makes sense. That makes
And
sense.
now this is all advanced reservation, because
Right.
otherwise we wouldn't be able to do this. We
Quickly,
gotta-
run it through again. Where they got to go on the website to book
the
these
website,
things?
www.toursne.com.
Tour, that's easy.
Yeah.
Toursne.com. You can't remember that?
Tour-
Toursne.com?
That's right.
How easy is
Put
that?
it up, put it up,
Now you
put
got
it
the Cherry Blossom Festival.
That's coming up. The Tourism Council does lots of stuff all year long.
That's
Cherry
first, right?
Blossom, now the Tour Rhode Island former event, now Southern New England,
Yeah.
is May 11th. The
Okay.
week before that, we have a Cherry Blossom Festival and a road race that we're supporting and that we're pretty much very heavily involved in.
Right.
And that's growing bigger and bigger every year.
Okay. Then you got
A
the,
lot of fun.
Okay.
The golf tournament comes up in June,
Where is that?
and the golf tournament, Crystal Lake up in the northern part of the state.
Yeah, yeah. That's off of-
That's
that-
been very successful
That's
for
off
us.
Woonsocket, isn't it? Like Woonsocket?
It's in
over the-
it's in, I'm sure it's in Burrowville.
Is it
Is it?
Burrville?
Yeah, I
Crystal
think
Lake?
so.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, you're right. I'm sorry. I stand corrected. I give up golf a long time ago. Okay.
Yep,
And of course, the Blackstone. Do you know the Blackstone Explorer?
Yeah.
I was there for the christening of the ships when they
Very
first started those ships way back in the day.
I can't tell you how many people have told me they've been on that boat and how much they've enjoyed
I
that
was
ride.
there for the christening, and I rode that boat up from
All
the
right.
Blunt Marina up to Providence and Pawtucket when it first became into vogue. Me and Bob Billington did that. Well, last but not least, we got to run through this because I got to
right.
say bye to this band here.
All right.
All right. What do you got here? What is this all about?
The secret ingredient food tour. We've been doing this for
With Donna
several
who?
years now. Donna
Oh,
who,
I
my-
know
my-
Donna.
My
I
great
know
friend,
Donna.
My great friend.
Go ahead. Hurry up.
The next one is Wednesday night, Sullivan's Public House.
Oh, I know where
April
that is.
10th,
That's over on Armistice Boulevard, right?
That is.
You thought I was
And
going to miss that one, too,
They go
right?
in for not only a meal, but a demonstration on some cooking item. We do it almost every Wednesday night throughout the year.
Oh, cool.
And it's well worth looking into. Any of these items can be, you can find the details on our website,
Which is?
tourblackstone.com.
Another easy one.
you go.
tourblackstone.com.
Yeah, put the W's in front or not.
Forget
It
the
doesn't
W's.
even matter.
Well, Lesley, thank you for stopping by.
My
You've
pleasure.
been great. Been a lot of fun.
My pleasure.
Nice to see you.
All right, Bob.
You've been a great sport.
Thank you.
Thank you for stopping by. And you guys, she's late again. Take us out of here.
Come on, line, I'm feeling fine. I didn't mean to take it down. Straight and narrow in the barrel. Come on, baby, shoot the arrow. Salty seas I cannot see. Now it's time for you and me. Snow flies from the sky. Now I work overtime. So throwing a line, I cannot lie. I feel as if I'm gonna die. No, you know what I mean. It's time to face the skeleton. Back to sleep, I can't compete. You know this job is killing me. Eyes closed, there we go. I cannot stay on the road. So throw a line, I cannot lie. I feel as if I'm gonna die. No,
Thank you very much.